The stars above the planet Veltraxa shone with a strange blue glow. The royal guards stood still as statues at the palace gates, their silver armor reflecting the alien moonlight. Inside the grand hall, a human stood awkwardly among the tall, sharp-eyed Veltraxians. His name was Caleb, and he was Earth's youngest diplomatic envoy. He had trained for years for this moment, but nothing could prepare him for what was coming. Caleb's job was simple: deliver a message of peace and cooperation from the Human Federation to Queen Ziara, the ruler of Veltraxa. The Queen had never allowed humans to step foot on her world before. She was known across the galaxy for her power, intelligence, and pride. Many feared her, and some even worshipped her, but no one truly understood her. Today, that would change. As Caleb walked forward, he tried to stay calm. The throne room was massive. The walls were made of crystal that pulsed with soft light, and above him floated giant golden rings that hummed quietly. At the end of the hall, Queen Ziara sat tall on her throne, wearing a gown made of something that looked like living silk. Her pale blue skin shimmered, and her eyes glowed with quiet fire. Caleb bowed politely as he had been trained. "Your Majesty, I bring greetings from Earth and a message of peace from our leaders." Ziara did not speak for a moment. Her gaze was sharp, but her expression unreadable. Then she raised one hand and the hall emptied instantly. Guards, advisors, servants, everyone left without a word. Caleb looked around, confused. Was something wrong? "I will speak to the human alone," Ziara said in a low voice. Caleb cleared his throat and nodded. "Of course, Your Majesty." She stood and began to walk down the steps of her throne. With each step, something about the air shifted. Caleb felt warmer, then colder, then a strange pressure in his chest. As she came closer, he noticed her strange scent, like flowers mixed with heat and static electricity. His heart beat faster, but he didn't know why. "You are younger than I expected," Ziara said, stopping just in front of him. Her voice was smooth but carried authority. Caleb smiled nervously. "I'm honored you allowed me to come here." "Do you know the meaning of the Veltraxian greeting ritual?" she asked. I studied it, but the full meaning is still unclear to us," Caleb admitted. Ziara raised one eyebrow. "Then you are brave, or foolish." Before Caleb could answer, she extended her hand and placed it gently over his chest. He froze. Her touch felt warm and electric. His skin tingled. A golden light appeared around them, silent, gentle, but powerful. Caleb felt something move inside him. Not physically, but deep in his mind, his senses. His body reacted without control. Something ancient, something he didn't understand. Ziara pulled her hand away, breathing slightly heavier. Then her eyes widened. She stepped back fast, her expression now filled with shock and anger. "No," she whispered. "This is not possible." Caleb stood there, confused and scared. "What just happened? You—" Ziara's voice trembled, but she kept her composure. "You triggered the royal bond." "I don't understand," he said, truly lost now. "You're not supposed to be able to. No human is. And yet—" She paused, placing her hand on her lower stomach. "The bond is real. The transfer has happened." Caleb blinked. "Transfer? What transfer?" Queen Ziara's face darkened. "You have done what no Veltraxian male could do for over 200 years. You've started the royal seed." Caleb took a step back. "What? I swear, I didn't mean to—" "Silence!" she shouted, her voice echoing through the chamber like thunder. "You touched nothing, yet the bond formed. This is not a normal event. This is ancient magic, forgotten biology. You don't know what you've done." "I didn't try to do anything," Caleb insisted, raising his hands. "I was just following protocol." But Ziara was not listening anymore. She turned sharply and called for the guards. Within seconds, they entered with weapons drawn. "Take him to the lower chambers. Now." she commanded. The guards grabbed Caleb, and before he could speak again, he was being dragged through the palace halls. He didn't resist. He was too confused, too shaken. The queen had said he started something. A royal seed? That couldn't mean what he thought it meant. Right? In a cold cell made of silver stone, Caleb sat with his head in his hands. His heart was still racing. His body felt strange, like it had gone through something too big to understand. He didn't know what would happen next. All he knew was this. He came for peace, and now he might have accidentally changed the future of an entire alien race. And the queen, Ziara, was furious. Caleb sat on the cold stone floor of his cell, trying to make sense of everything. The room was dim, and the walls were made of some kind of glowing stone that gave off soft light. His mind was racing. Just hours ago, he was a diplomat bringing peace, and now he was a prisoner, and possibly the father of an alien queen's child. He rubbed his face and took a deep breath. "What just happened?" he whispered. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside his cell. The heavy door opened, and a tall alien figure stepped inside. It was a royal guard, but this one looked different. She wore a blue cloak and didn't hold a weapon. "I am Licia," she said calmly. "Royal advisor to Queen Ziara." Caleb stood slowly. "Please. I don't know what's going on. I didn't do anything wrong." Licia studied him for a moment. "Perhaps not on purpose, but what happened cannot be ignored. You triggered the ancient bond." Caleb frowned. "I don't even know what that means." Licia stepped closer. "Veltraxians have not formed a natural bond in centuries. Our species has become disconnected. Our royal bloodline was dying. When the queen touched you during the ritual, your DNA somehow awakened the ancient code in her biology." Caleb blinked. "Wait, are you saying I'm biologically compatible with her?" Licia nodded. "More than that. You've begun something impossible." Caleb felt dizzy. "But I didn't mean to. I didn't even know that was possible." "I believe you," Licia said softly. "But the queen is furious. She believes this is some kind of human trick. I swear it's not. I was just following the welcoming ritual." Licia sighed. "The ritual is not supposed to cause this reaction. It was meant to test energy, not create life." Caleb sat back down, his mind spinning. "So what happens now?" "The queen is meeting with the High Council," Licia explained. "Some demand your execution, others want to study you. A few are starting to believe that this bond might be a sign." "A sign?" "That the old ways may not be dead," she said. "That maybe your kind, humans, carry something Veltraxians lost long ago." Caleb looked up at her. "Will she come to see me again?" Licia shook her head. "Not yet. Her anger is too strong." Meanwhile, in the royal chamber above, Queen Ziara stood before her council. 12 members sat in a circle, dressed in royal robes. Each one represented a different part of Veltraxian society: military, science, tradition, history, and more. "The human must be removed," one shouted. "His presence is a threat. We should examine him carefully. He may be the key to our future," said another. Ziara raised her hand and silence fell over the room. "I did not invite him here to create a bond," she said. "And yet, the bond formed. We cannot ignore this truth." "Do you feel the child growing?" a female elder asked carefully. Ziara's face hardened. "Yes." Gasps filled the room. The elder leaned forward. "Then you must not hide from this, Your Majesty. A royal heir has not been created in 2 centuries. This is history." Ziara walked to the window and looked out over her planet. Her heart was heavy, not just with confusion but with fear. She had always believed her bloodline would end with her. And now, after one meeting with a human, that fate had changed. But she wasn't ready to accept it. "He's just a human," she whispered. "He doesn't understand our ways, our laws, our struggles. And yet his presence awakened something our people thought was gone forever," said the elder. "Perhaps the old legends were true." Ziara clenched her fists. "If that is true, Then I must learn the truth for myself. That evening, long after the council had ended, Queen Ziara entered the lower chambers alone. The guard stepped aside without a word. She wore a long black cloak and kept her face hidden. She moved quietly through the stone halls until she stood in front of Caleb's cell. He looked up in surprise. "Your Majesty." Ziara said nothing for a long time. Then she opened the cell door and stepped inside. "Stand," she commanded. Caleb obeyed. She looked him over, his short brown hair, his curious eyes, the way he stood even when confused. Or scared. "You are not strong by Veltraxian standards," she said. "I know," Caleb replied. "But I'm not here to fight." Ziara stepped closer. "Do you understand what has happened between us?" "Not fully," he said honestly. "But I didn't mean to cause harm." She looked into his eyes. "Then tell me this, human. If what they say is true, that our bond created life, what would you do?" Caleb swallowed. "I'd take responsibility. I'd protect that life." Ziara studied him carefully. For the first time, something in her expression softened. "Why?" she asked. "It is not of your world, not your duty." "Because that life would still be part of me," he said. "And maybe part of something greater." Ziara turned away, hiding her thoughts. "You will remain here," she said coldly, "until I decide what to do." And with that she left. But Caleb saw something in her eyes before she turned. Confusion, pain, and maybe even hope. As the cell door closed again, he sat back down with a new thought. Maybe he wasn't just a mistake, maybe he was a key. The news of the Queen's mysterious bond with a human male spread like wildfire through the Veltraxian Empire. Every planet under her rule whispered about it. Rumors flew from starports to noble homes. Some called it a miracle, others, a disaster. But no one could ignore it. Inside the palace, the mood had changed. Soldiers were more alert. Advisors held secret meetings. And Queen Ziara? She no longer appeared in public. She stayed inside her private chamber, facing the truth growing inside her. The child was real. She could feel it even now, an ancient power stirring within. The bloodline of queens, once fading, now sparked to life again. And it began with a human. Still, her anger hadn't vanished. Not at Caleb. Not completely. But at fate itself. She had fought so long to be strong alone, to carry her crown with pride, and now she had been made vulnerable by someone who didn't even mean to. How can this happen? She whispered to herself as she stood before a crystal mirror. What does it mean? Behind her, Licia entered quietly. Your Majesty, the Council requests an answer. They demand to know your decision. Ziara turned to her loyal advisor. Some want him gone. Others want to study him like an object. Licia nodded. And the rest believe this is a sign from the ancestors. The Queen narrowed her eyes. They speak of legends, of old bonds, of royal prophecy. But those are just stories. I live in the real world. And yet the stories are now living inside you, Licia said gently, her eyes falling to Ziara's midsection. Ziara looked away. He is not even of our kind. He did nothing. He didn't earn this. True, Licia agreed, but he also did not run away. The Queen said nothing. She didn't want to admit it, but she had visited Caleb's cell again in secret, just once more. She had watched him sleep, calm and unaware. There was no evil in him, only confusion and quiet strength. That disturbed her more than anything. Meanwhile, in the lower chambers, Caleb was no longer alone. Not physically. His cell was still locked, but now he had visitors. An alien historian came to see him, asking questions about Earth's genetics. A scientist followed, trying to test his skin and blood. Caleb refused at first, but they were polite, not cruel. Eventually, he allowed them to scan him. Nothing painful. He wanted answers too. Later that day, Licia returned with a tablet. This is your communication screen, she said. The Queen has not decided your fate yet, but you are no longer considered an enemy. You may now speak with Earth, under limited control. Caleb's heart leaped. You mean I can send a message? She nodded. Only a report. But yes. Caleb took the device carefully. Thank you, Lysia. You've been kind. Lysia looked at him. Some still want you punished. Some want you used. But there are a few, like me, who see you as something else. What do you see? Caleb asked. She gave a soft smile. A strange light in a dark room. He didn't understand her words, but they made him feel less alone. Outside the palace, things were not calm. Several Veltraxian generals met in secret. One of them, Commander Tavos, slammed a metal fist on the table. This human is a threat to our pride. If he stays, he weakens us. Another general, older and wiser, shook his head. He has done nothing but sit in a cell. The Queen still holds power. We must not act in fear. Tavos growled. The people are already talking. Some see him as chosen. That weakens our traditions. If the Queen won't deal with him, maybe we should. You speak of betrayal, the elder warned. I speak of survival, Tavos replied. The seeds of conflict were beginning to grow. Back in the palace, Queen Ziara stared at a message from the outer colonies. Other alien empires were asking questions. Curious, suspicious. Some were nervous. Others offered gifts. One even offered a marriage treaty, thinking she might now be open to outsiders. Ziara rolled her eyes and closed the screen. They think I am weak now. You are not weak, Lysia said behind her. But you are changing. Ziara walked to the balcony and looked up at the twin moons. What if I don't want to change? Lysia stepped beside her. Then stop. But the child growing inside you will still be born. That change will come, with or without your permission. Ziara clenched the railing. I didn't choose this. No, Lysia agreed. But maybe it chose you. Far below, Caleb sat on the edge of his bed, thinking about everything he had learned. Veltraxians had lost the ability to bond naturally long ago. They had tried for years to bring it back using science. It never worked. But he, a human, had done it without trying. Why? Was there something special in human DNA? Was it just chance? Or was there something deeper, something cosmic that brought him and Ziara together? Caleb looked up at the small window in his cell. Stars twinkled beyond. I don't know why I'm here, he whispered. But if I'm part of something bigger, I won't run away. The door outside his chamber stayed locked, but the future, that was beginning to open. The royal chambers were quiet as Queen Ziara sat with her head bowed. The child inside her stirred gently, a reminder of the strange bond formed with the human Caleb. The weight of her crown felt heavier than ever before. Lysia entered softly, carrying a small device. Your Majesty, I have called the Veltraxian elder Malus. She is wise in the old ways. Ziara looked up, her eyes tired but curious. Bring her here. Minutes later, Malus entered the room. She was old. Her skin, marked with delicate lines, and her eyes held the calm of many years. Her presence seemed to fill the space with quiet power. Your Majesty, Malus said, bowing deeply. Please, Malus, sit, Ziara said. Malus settled herself and looked directly at Ziara. I have heard of your bond with the human. Ziara nodded. I need to understand. What does this mean? Malus took a deep breath. Long ago, Veltraxians were part of a greater family. Our ancestors shared DNA with other humanoid species from distant stars. Over time, we lost many of those connections. Ziara frowned. But we thought those ties were gone forever. Indeed, Malus said. But your bond with this human has awakened a trace, an ancient resonance buried deep within our bloodline. Ziara's eyes widened. So the child I carry is not just a mistake? Malus smiled faintly. No, it may be the key to our renewal. Ciara's mind raced. Could this child unite old worlds? Could it bring strength back to Veltraxa? Tell me more, she demanded. Malus continued. The royal seed is sacred. It carries the future of our race. For centuries, the line has been broken. Now this bond shows a new path. Ciara leaned forward. But why a human? Your species shares something with us, Malus said. Something we have forgotten. The ability to bond naturally, to create life through connection. Ciara looked away, her heart heavy. And what of the council? They fear this change. They fear what they do not understand. Malus replied gently. But the galaxy watches. Our neighbors see the possibility and the threat. Ciara nodded slowly. Then I must prepare. For the child, for the future, and for war. In his cell, Caleb sat quietly as Lycia returned with news. The Queen has agreed to speak with you again, Lycia said, but only under strict supervision. Caleb nodded, hopeful. Thank you. That evening, he was escorted to a private chamber near the Queen's quarters. The room was simple but warm, decorated with soft fabrics and gentle lights. Queen Ciara entered, her expression guarded. Caleb, she began, I have learned much since our last meeting. I want to understand, he said. She paced slowly. Your presence awakens old power. I feel it growing inside me every day. Caleb swallowed. I don't know why this happened, but I promise you, I will help in any way I can. Ciara studied him for a long moment. There are forces here, inside, my court, that wish to use you or destroy you. You must be careful. I will, Caleb assured her. Do you know what it means to be bonded to a Veltraxian queen? She asked. Caleb shook his head. No, but I want to learn. Ciara took a deep breath. It means responsibility beyond your world. It means alliances and enemies. It means power. Caleb's eyes met hers. Then I will stand with you. For the first time, Ciara smiled softly. You are braver than most of my people. In the days that followed, scientists and historians gathered around Caleb. They shared knowledge of both worlds. Caleb taught them about Earth's biology, culture, and technology. The Veltraxians taught him their history and customs. One night, as Caleb rested, he dreamed of a strange light, stars joining across the sky, connecting planets and people. He saw himself and Ciara standing side by side, leading their peoples into a new era. He woke with a start, filled with hope. But not everyone welcomed the change. Commander Tavos and his followers grew more restless. They believed Caleb was a threat to Veltraxian purity and power. We must act, Tavos told his officers. If the Queen cannot see the danger, we will show her. His officers nodded, their eyes cold. Back in the palace, Ciara prepared for a secret meeting with her closest allies. The child inside her was growing stronger every day. She spoke softly. We stand on the edge of a new world. This child could unite the stars or bring war. Lycia nodded. But you will face enemies from within and beyond. Ciara's eyes burned with determination. Then we will face them. Together. As the galaxy watched, the strange bond between a human and an alien queen became a symbol of hope and fear. A future was unfolding, one born from an unexpected meeting and the courage to face the unknown. The halls of the Veltraxian palace buzzed with tension. Queen Ciara walked with purpose, her eyes sharp and mind focused. The child inside her had grown stronger. The bond she shared with Caleb was no longer a secret. Allies and enemies both awaited her next move. Outside the palace, soldiers gathered. Commander Tavos had taken control of a faction determined to remove Caleb and challenge the Queen's rule. Rumors of rebellion spread quickly, and the fragile peace was cracking. Ciara knew what she had to do. She sent a message to Caleb's cell. Come to the throne room. The guards unlocked his door, and Caleb walked carefully through the grand halls. For the first time since his arrival, he felt more than a prisoner. He was part of something greater. In the throne room, Ciara waited. standing tall in regal armor. Her gaze met his, steady and commanding. "Caleb," she said, "our enemies grow bolder. We must act together." Caleb nodded. "I'm ready." Together, they planned. Ziara shared secrets of Veltraxian defense, while Caleb introduced new strategies learned from Earth's history. They combined their knowledge, preparing to face the coming storm. The palace erupted in chaos days later. Tavos and his rebels launched a surprise attack, hoping to seize power while the queen was vulnerable. But Ziara and Caleb were ready. With swift precision, Veltraxian guards held the palace's inner walls, while Caleb led small groups in tactical strikes against the rebels. His human tactics confused their enemies who expected traditional Veltraxian warfare. The battle raged through the night. Light flashed from energy weapons. The sound of clashing metal echoed. But slowly the rebels were pushed back. Finally, Tavos faced Ziara in the throne room. "You betray your own people," he shouted. "I protect my people," Ziara replied calmly. "And the future we will build." Tavos lunged, but Ziara was faster. With a precise strike, she disarmed him. "Your rebellion ends now," she declared. The rebels surrendered, their spirits broken. After the battle, Ziara stood beside Caleb on the balcony overlooking the city. The twin moons cast silver light across the skyline. People cheered below, hopeful again. "You fought well," Ziara said softly. Caleb smiled. "I fought because I believe in you, and in what we can build." Ziara took his hand gently. "You are no longer my prisoner. You are my partner." Caleb looked surprised but happy. "I never expected this." "You never expected a human to change the fate of Veltraxa," Ziara said with a small laugh. The queen turned to the stars. "The child we carry is a symbol of hope, strength, and unity." Caleb nodded. A new beginning. Together, they faced the galaxy's future, not as enemies, but as allies. The story of the alien queen and the human male became a legend. Across the stars, a reminder that even in the darkest times, connection and courage can change everything.